This is Christina within the garden. We are going to really quick move a rose bush that I've planted right over here, and it's a grandiflora. Let me show you what exact kind. Okay, this one was, I stuck the tag up here, it's a miscongeniality grandiflora. Medium upright and bushy. It's pink just like that. Okay, so we're gonna move the rose bush to the very front. At first, we're gonna loosen up the soil all the way around the plant so that we're not disturbing the root system again. It was in a pot before. It got too big for the pot. We put it over here temporarily because I wasn't sure where I wanted to put it. So now I know that I want it in the front yard to give an area some height right by the Shasta daisies. So watch as we pull it easily up because it's only been there for a short period of time, so it didn't reroot itself too much. And then from here, we're gonna take it to the front and I'll show you some tips. There's two things you need to know about roses. You wanna fertilize when you're planting them, and you wanna saturate the root system before you cover it with soil. So you wanna drench it and soak it as much as possible. So just these two things and you should be fine when transplanting. I am out front on the left side of the garden, so this is where we're going to keep it. And from here, it shouldn't need to move again. I'm going to put it right between two of our hydrangeas that really struggled and have never done well. So if the rose bush takes over that area, it's perfectly fine. So I'm going to put it out here up front. Again, it's a grandiflora rose bush, and I'm going to replace in those two spots, well, that one and then the other side, climbing roses that'll go up on the side of the shed. So take a look at where we're going to put it now. Two things to do when planting rose bushes. Number one, we put a Spoma's flower tone in there. You could have put rose tone, but I didn't have any. And then you want to saturate the roots with water before you start covering it up with dirt. So I'm gonna grab the hose and we're gonna do that now. Backing up, you can see it's actually, while it seems out of place at the moment, it's actually nice because we've got this height here, and these Shasta daisy, if you remember, will get 3 to 4 feet tall on this side, and so we'll have height on that side. And then right there and right there are hydrangeas that have always had a hard time, and we've got that little hydrangea there. So what we can do to even this up, this is about the height for all of these sides. Let me go over here. Okay, so this is the same height as that one. So the only other thing we could do is take this one down to right about here, and it has that hourglass shape that you're looking for in a rose bush. And then we might take these, well, that one has a new growth, but I might take this one off because that one's not doing anything for the plant, but that one is growing here and these are growing there. So do you see how large these canes are? It's a very mature plant and it needed a long-term place to go. Before it was planted next to the garden shed, it actually was in a pot. And we're gonna reuse that pot for our miniature peach tree. But this is perfect. Yep, don't you think that that spot, if we could just trim it down, it will be perfectly symmetrical with the rest of the plant. And then what you can do is if you're worried, well, I've got all that growth, you can clip those back and you can plant them in water, let them grow roots, and then they will eventually have new rose bushes. Again, this is a grandiflora. I grabbed my pruners so that we could make quick work of this. Okay, now you can kind of see that that diameter there was dead, and this is really damaged, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off as well. Okay. Ooh, that's kind of not needed. All right, and so we're going to use our pruning sealer, and we're just going to cover. We use this on our willow and all of our trees, and it's just a sealant you can get on Amazon or most websites online. There we go. And it prevents root damage, limb rot from getting into the rose bush or the tree. So let's prune this upper one. This is actually kind of damaged here, but we're gonna bring it down to, gosh, this really big diameter right here. I'm gonna have to get bigger loppers real quick. All right, well, let's go see what's in the shed and we'll pick something new out. These are not big enough. Look at how much more symmetrical that is. I would say the only thing I'm worried about is this. See how these got a little smashed in transportation, but that looks like the extent of it. Let's go ahead and seal this off and that off real quick. Go ahead and grab that one right there too. That way nothing gets into our little rose bush. All right. There were some earlier cuts we made this season, so I can go ahead and all right. Looking. I see any others? This one. It's about that time for allergy season. If you have allergies, you know what I mean. Okay. All right, friends. We're going to take that to the greenhouse because we're going to try to save it to start another rose bush. Now, I heard my friend Chris say that his gardener cuts his rose bush and then takes the rose canes and just shoves them into the ground and they bloom new rose bushes. Now, I can't get it to do that in my greenhouse, let alone out here, so I'm just going to try it in the greenhouse and see how that goes. I think we got them all. And then, like I said, look, isn't that nice? It's all kind of one level. One. And this is going to be its forever home, so I will never move it again because look how big. Look at how big these rose canes are. I mean, geez, those are like almost a quarter in diameter. All right, we're going to take our sealer and we're going to grab our rose cane carefully and we're going to walk down to the greenhouse. You might be able to see, with no luck, this one did not really stay alive, but I don't want to get rid of it yet because what if it roots, but these guys just died off. And this was a recent trimming that I just stuck in there. Let's pull it out. Okay, so be careful not to cut yourself. Okay, Now, part of the trick, expose the cane down around the bottom so that it starts to try to root itself. And it helps a little if you give it a little leverage at the bottom. If you've done this before and seen success, comment below. But the idea here is to expose this cane to the water and the soil so that it re-roots to create a new rose bush. So we've got two. Let me move this one over. Okay, this is the really long piece that we came up with today. If you see this part is damaged, so we're gonna cut that above that spot right there. Okay, and then this is really thick and not needed. So I'm just gonna take one more up here and one more up here. And I'm gonna call that good. Okay, these are a little more sharp. Ah, pokies. Okay. A little more finesse with this, kind of like you're peeling. Almost feel like a garden shed should have a peeler if you're doing this regularly. All right, expose it, shove it in there. Here's another one. Cut this off. Cut the little guy off. Okay. Okay, last one. This is more than I needed, but to see if any of these end up becoming viable. Figured why not? I mean, we have them. Okay. Now, how you can kind of tell if this is working, or what I've noticed, is that when these leaves stay hydrated, it doesn't mind it at all. It's when it gets too hot in the greenhouse. Let's put that off. When it gets too hot in this greenhouse, they wither like any plant does. And so we've got the fan and we've got the temperature opening here. So we just want to keep an eye on it. But basically, the soil's pretty much stayed wet the whole time. So, and then I just kind of tuck it right back there. And that's all I end up doing. Okay, so if you're watching this video, this is a two-part video. The first video, we moved our rose bush, and that was a lot of fun and really was needed. We're getting a lot of projects done that we have needed to do recently. So I hope you enjoyed these videos. I really hope that you can see the things we do in our yard and it inspires you to do more. So thank you so much. This is Christina Within the Garden, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See you later.